They say proximity is power. I don't believe that. And I'm the guy with it on my wall. What I believe is that proximity is the unfair advantage. Being close to the right people in the right environments will accelerate your growth in ways that are impossible to do it on your own. You see, a few years ago, everything around me I built and no one helped me. That was the mindset I was in. I was in the mindset of, I don't need anybody's help. I got this handled. It's my life. I'm going to do what I want, how I want, when I want. And essentially, when I look back on those times, yes, I did build everything around me, but it was like I was fumbling around the dark room, looking for the doorway, and I just couldn't find it. Then I stumbled upon proximity is power. And the philosophy, the thought pattern, the mindset of proximity. Let me share a really good example that just happened to me today to hammer home this point. I attended a 1-hour call with a whole bunch of friends of mine. One of my friends went off to an AI conference and he learned AI. And what he did was he said, hey guys, this is phenomenal, the stuff that I learned there. I thought I knew AI, but the stuff that was shown to me, I have to share it with you. And he held a Zoom call on a Saturday morning, 1 hour long, and he just divested everything that he learned. And he turned the light bulb on for a lot of us. We were all using AI, but not to the extent that our friend was presenting us with those opportunities. Proximity is the unfair advantage. If I didn't have proximity to certain individuals, those individuals, and more specifically this one individual, I wouldn't have been invited to sit at the table. And then I wouldn't have learned about the possibilities that AI opens up. And I would have been left standing on the platform as the train left. Like, wow, that's what I mean by proximity is the unfair advantage. Another example, real estate. If I have a problem in real estate, all I do is pick up my phone and make a phone call, shoot a text, put a post up on a board. And I have connection to individuals that own thousands of doors. Now, when I only own under 100 doors, I think the problem is humongous. And then I ask the question, and the guy that owns 1,000 doors is like, nah, just do 1, 2, and 3, you'll be all right. That happened to me 3 years ago. It's no big deal now, it's gonna happen. Whether that's terms, negotiating with contractors, finding insurance agents. This is, I've told this story before. I had insurance. I'm in a coastal market. I had insurance. That insurance company said, we're not writing policies in your area anymore. My broker said, don't worry about it, I got you. A week before my policy was expiring, my broker comes to me and says, you know what, it's gonna be $25,000 for an 8-unit. Like, well, that's not happening. We need to scramble and figure something else here. And what we figured out that we could reach out to my proximity, my network, and I reached out to my network, and my network told me, oh, here's a recommendation, here's a recommendation, here's a recommendation. You got to talk to John. You have to talk to Joe. You have to talk to Pat. And they gave me, within 15 minutes, I had like 5 recommendations to go out and call, and I called these brokers, and I ended up with insurance. And it was because of the proximity that I had. Another incident was I was underwriting a property, and I couldn't understand how to formulate proper pro forma taxes. What am I going to be paying in taxes moving ahead? Reached out to my network. Everything's all right. Don't worry about it. This is what you do. Call this individual and ask them these questions. And if they don't give you the answers, call back the next day. Call the county assessment office and ask them how they figure out the taxes. Some people in county assessment offices know everything about taxes. Some people just basically shuffle paperwork. Nothing wrong with either individual. They were always very helpful. Every tax office I called was extremely helpful to me. The deal is, though, that I wouldn't have known to call multiple times if I didn't reach out to other people and they tell me this is what you got to do. When I was in the fire department, I got promoted purely because of the proximity of the individuals that I ended up with. Those individuals saw something in me and said, listen, this is what you have to do. This is the stepping stones that you have to take so that when you are promoted, you can be the best possible boss there was. And through that, I learned what to study so that I could pass the exam. I had a very short window. Guys study for 1, 2, 3 years to be promoted in the fire department. There's 15,000 pages. I had 3 months because of how it all lined up. But because of the proximity that I had to certain individuals, they were like, this is what you have to do. And they wrote out a game plan for me. These are the steps you have to take. Just focus on these things. And it worked out. Proximity is the absolute unfair advantage. Give you an example of when I didn't have proximity and how things slowly went. I own a preschool. We founded that business. Started it from scratch, complete blank slate. I had no clue what I was doing. Typical mom and pop operation. We have this great idea. We're just going to go out there and figure it out. And we did. We're established now 20 years. The preschool is phenomenal. But we had to learn as we went. Because back then, I know what I'm doing. I'm the man of the house. I can figure it out. I don't need anybody's help. When in reality, if I would have sought out individuals that did that prior to us founding our preschool, that process of becoming established would have gone much smoother. There was a lot of bumpy roads in the beginning because we were figuring things out on our own. I didn't have that phone call to make. Hey, Joe, what do I do here? How do I balance my books, right? Who do I hire for bookkeeping? Like, there was all these questions. What's the permitting process? How do I publish an article, an ad in the legal section of the paper saying I want to petition for a conditional use permit for my preschool? Like, how do I do any of that? I didn't know. I had to fumble along. Whereas now I could pick up a phone and be like, how do I do this? And people just tell me, oh, this is what we did. You need an attorney, go use this guy. It accelerates my learning curve. Proximity creates fertile soil. When I'm in the room with these individuals, this morning I was on fire. Like my mind was exploding with all of the ideas of how I can implement AI into my life. AI is here to stay, people. AI is here to stay. AI is no different than the government. There's no, I don't pull a shade over that I despise the government. I think the government's just a power-hungry entity, right? They should provide us security. That's about it. And they should allow us to pursue happiness and capitalism and just do good in the world. That's not what the government does, though. every politician's like, we're in the middle of elections right now. Don't even get me started. But I'm gonna go back to proximity, right? Proximity is fertile soil. Proximity is when I'm in that room with all of those people, my mind just opens up because everybody has ideas and experiences. And those ideas and experiences, they're pouring in. We're all pouring into each other. And we're pouring into each other with what the possibilities are. Back then, before I understood proximity, I was in a group of people too. But we were all pouring into the negativity, the victim, the conflict. That's what we were doing. And it was just dragging me down. I always felt deflated. Now, I feel enriched, alive, energetic, adrenaline piercing through my body. Like, let's go. We're gonna off to the races. And that's all because of proximity. If you don't have the proximity that you want right now, how do you get it? How do you create it? First, become the person that you want to associate with. So if you want to associate with really good, loving, giving people, then start giving. Learn something and just give that away. Just like my friend did today. He learned something. He could have kept that close to the vest, but he brought it to the group. And he said, let me share this with you. You do the same thing. Something simple. Like, you know what I learned today? I learned that I can really do good if I just smile to one person and say good morning to them. Start spreading that. Start being the person that you want to hang out with, that you'd be proud to hang out with, that enriches your life. Start being that person. That's first. Second, what endeavors do you have? What do you want out of life? I wanted more passive income. I wanted more time freedom. And I chose real estate as my primary focus. So I went out and I found people that were doing real estate. And then I introduced myself to them. And now I'm in a couple of masterminds. I'm in a couple of groups that primarily focus on real estate. And as I join those groups, I start listening. And then I start asking questions. And then I start building relationships. And that's how proximity is built out. The number one strategy to building proximity is to sit back and listen. And then ask yourself, how can I be helpful to this individual? How can I add value to this group? And then just pour into the group. Just pour into the group. And when you need something, the group is going to help you out. It's a win-win for everybody. Napoleon Hill said it in Think and Grow Rich, right? Two minds come together, form a third, more powerful mind. That's because I say something that triggers something in your thought process. And you're like, oh, what about if we do it this way? Just like today. He said, can we use AI on an elevated platform instead of just using it for task-oriented things? List 5 ways to do this, or list right? How do you build out your skill set? If I want to build a new skill set that is going to help me in business, in real estate, I just go to my group. I'm like, guys, do you guys have any resources for doing this? This is what I'm looking to do. This is the next step I need to take. Do you have any resources? Oh yeah, try this out, try this out, try this out. Go talk to this guy. That's why proximity accelerates your growth. Because I don't have to now research the top 10 best attorneys in Pennsylvania. I just go to my group and say, hey, Joe, I need to do an eviction. I know you did an eviction 3 months ago. Were you happy with your attorney? Yeah, I loved my guy. Would you mind sharing them with me? No, here you go. It really is that easy. And when I was in the world of, I got to do it all myself, I didn't believe that collaboration existed. I didn't believe that people would actually help me as much as they do. And now I'm one of those people that really, really enjoy. I get total fulfillment out of helping individuals. That's the shape of a mountain. I had to climb up that mountain. There were people that helped me climb up that mountain. Now it's my responsibility to help people that are under me, that are just beginning their journey. It's for me to shine that flashlight. Remember I was talking about the dark room? Shine that flashlight so that they can see the stepping stones of getting up that mountain. It's my job to pull them up one step up that mountain because someone did it for me, and now I have the responsibility to pass that along, to pay it forward. That's what proximity is about. And people will absolutely help you as long as you are of the mindset of value, of collaboration, of win-win. It's all it takes. So start. This is my challenge for you. We're going to end right here. This is my challenge. What small action can you take right now so that you can start adopting a behavior of a person that you want to hang out with? Think about that. So that you can start becoming the person that you want to hang out with, so that you become a magnet and attract like-minded people to yourself. Guys, around here we live up in the numerator, not down in the denominator. Go out there today and be unstoppable and absolutely crush your day. I love spending time with you. Have a very blessed day.